Ian Riley, you have a dealership. We've been playing tag, social media-wise, and back and forth, but we finally get to meet face to face.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the store.
So, Fredericktown Yamaha. My parents opened up in 1975. Small town of Frederick. We're about 45 minutes north of DC and about 45 minutes west of Baltimore. Started just Yamaha, family business, and 47 years later, still cranking along. Kind of took back over, kind of helped my dad out. My brother, who had helped out for a number of years, moved to Ireland to a music career, and I came in 2008, September 2008, to help out with the family business, and we're just enjoying the life of a family motorcycle shop.
Well, you were trying to be the quiet life of the family motorcycle shop, but now the PW50 movie's out, and suddenly you're a movie star.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. It started out as a fun little project with our friend Brett, and we went fast. And honestly, the production was just the icing on the cake. To be able to save a PW50 from back of somebody's barn was fun.
Well, with the supply chain snafus and all the nonsense that's happening, PW50 is still worth what it was back in the day.
Probably worth more now. It's and that honestly in that whole movie, the challenge of that was finding parts to restore. You think a PW50 getting parts would be easy. In the current situation, trying to find a piston to replace or just some basic parts. I've become pretty good at working the eBay and internet and calling dealers to source product, and we have to do that daily anyways for our service department. So the PW50 was just another process we're dealing with on a regular basis because of the COVID supply chain issue. So we're a Yamaha Triumph SSR dealership as well as some e-bikes. Inventory is an issue. We're the timing of it doesn't always work out. Japanese off-road motorcycles are almost non-existent. The ones we do have coming in are limited, and they're sold before they get there. Triumph, the European
Did you
products,
order early on those YZ250s?
we tried to. So the order we placed in June of 2021. June 2021. We're 30 plus YZs. We got 8.
Oh.
And like YZ450s are supposed to ship in August. I still have not seen one yet for people who have already paid deposits on. So you think you order early, and I guess things are being redefined now than what they were. 6 months seemed early for dealerships about 46 years. It's amazing. It sounds like we're going to be dealing with another 18 months of supply chains with Yamaha at least.
With all of them, despite what the president said, and the Port of Long Beach is going to go 24/7. It's not going 24/7, and the rail cars can't get out, and the thieves are breaking into the cars, and there's not even enough union truck drivers with a CDL that can haul the containers once they're offloaded. So I don't see any end in sight, and literally because I can look out from my window and see boats piled up from the coast to Catalina.
It's things we couldn't have, it's things we didn't have to think about before, and now we are. And thank goodness the general consumer is a little bit understanding of it because it's affecting everything. It's affecting their phone, whatever. But it doesn't make it any easier when you have parents calling and want to buy their kids dirt bikes, and you can't get them. Because to me that's start the process early, and then we have a consumer for life. Once you become addicted to motorcycles at the age of 6, you're a motorcyclist. And so we're just trying to make the most of every opportunity, and it's as with anything, it's a learning experience, and we just kind of bob and weave to keep going.
But despite that, you still seem to be having fun. You're still sponsoring racers. Sammy shops at your shop. A couple of these guys are.
No, we've been lucky to be associated with some really good people. Sammy Halbert's been a long time. I might as well. My kids call him Uncle Sammy. He's in town. He stays at my parents' house and cooks eggs and stuff in the kitchen. So it's kind of funny. And the Texter family. With Corey, we've been associated a number of years and got some championships with him and over the years. So we've been involved. My dad's been a big dirt track enthusiast. So if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. So we try to keep it fun.
And you're still having fun with it?
Having a good time. There's days that are challenging, but we focus on the good times. And racing, I grew up racing motocross my whole life. So 100 pounds ago in 25 years, it's fast. But still enjoy the process. But now, it's funny that it's cool to see the the generational continuation of enjoyment of racing and things like that. And so, and knowing Corey and Shayna's dad, Randy, and Corey, being associated with him, and I always joke with Corey that I'm on Cruise's, we got to be on top of Cruise, his 4-year-old's PW50 sponsorship list with this. So it's fun, and it's good to see people having fun on motorcycles. Yeah.
So given that heritage that you've got and the desire to push it forward, have you looked at Stasic or any of the balance bikes and getting these younger kids with a non-traditional product?
Yes, yeah. So Stasic and Striders, to kind of go with that, and even in the business with the things being challenging with product, we've looked into going the e-bicycle type route too through Yamaha and Giant Intense. But so that electric small dirt bike is definitely something we need to branch out to. There's another dealership in town that does Stasic, and my father growing up in the business said there's always going to be enough business for everybody. We all have to work together. So never wanted to step on anybody else's toes. But it's one of those things with a growing brand that, Stasic is something that even though there's a dealership in town, I think there's enough market for everybody they may look into if they're open to it for us. But I think there's enough other products coming as well. It's interesting. I mean, to see what the major manufacturers come out with as far as electric goes. I mean, KTM and Europeans definitely have a head start on it. But
well, I've been seeing some of that stuff at the Milan show past 5 years.
Yeah.
They're already ready to go. And well, like with Mark Bergen and importing the Torot and things like that. So there was some teething pains the first round, but I think they're getting their act together. Well, and they've got some U.S. money and organization now backing it. So. And
that product is phenomenal. It's good. And it opens up things we wouldn't have considered before. It's like as areas grow, the complaints and noise and stuff like that, the e motorcycles and e small balance, it takes that out of the mix. So I'm excited for it. Constantly being around for 46, 47 years. I grew up there. I'm 51 years old, so I basically been in the store the whole time. It's easy to fall into the rhythm of how things always are and how they always will be. Try to figure out where things will go and being open-minded to it is something it's a challenge, but it's also keeps it fun and opportunities. See what comes about.